Brought to you by Mr. Pros TV, streaming from Tempe, Arizona. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Mr. Pros TV. And today we're not in Tucson today. We were in Tucson yesterday. Today we're back in our studio in Tempe, Arizona, and we're here with a very special guest. We have Bill Drummey of Remax Infinity.
Correct,
Chandler office.
Yeah.
Are there multiple Infinity offices, or is that
no?
just
Just
where?
that's it.
Okay, but
Bill Ryan and we got Shelly.
Okay, awesome. So out of Chandler. So. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us here on Real Estate Pros.
Thank you.
And we'll give you a couple minutes to introduce yourself for those that don't know who you are.
Okay.
Give us a little bit of background, why you got into real estate, what you did prior, and we'll go from there.
Well, you can see from my age, I'm not a young spring chicken. So I've been in real estate for 16 years now. Previous to that, for 20, I think it was 2 years, 23, I worked for Levi Strauss.
Oh, really?
Jeans and Dockers.
Hey, that's what I wear. I wear 511s. That's all I wear.
A fabulous. I tell you, it's a fabulous company.
Yeah.
Really good. They treated their employees well. I loved it, but as the market changed, at the time it was a lot of mom and pops. Went to major department stores like Dillard's and JCPenney.
Right.
And of course, that's evolving now. Where probably they'll go by the wayside in another 10 years. Who knows? It'll be all internet driven. But anyways, great business. I could see it coming. I would know I needed another career before I retired, and I thought about it and I said, I went to my wife. I said, you know what? I think I want to do real estate. She goes, real estate? I said, why real estate? And, the impression of real estate agents wasn't so great. So I said, that's exactly why. I said, you need some good real estate people. I mean, there's some wonderful agents out there. And then there's a lot of part-time people out there.
Right.
So I dove into it, loved it, and been doing it since.
Awesome. So you've been at it for 16 years now.
Correct.
So you started 2001 or two area.
Yeah, right after the 9/11.
So right after 9/11, and then it started to creep up. From there, I believe, you had the .com bust, which was a little bit prior, and then the ramp up.
Yeah, the market was good, and you're thinking everything's fine. I mean, the prices went up. You're making great commissions. Then all of a sudden, just went off a cliff, and I could see that we were going to, go downwards. I didn't see the crash because I didn't see all the fraud that was involved there.
Yeah.
So when it crashes, you go, what are you going to do now? So my focus was, of course, on Canadians at the time.
Okay.
So I started marketing on Canadians. I went on Kijiji, which was like Craigslist, and that's how I started introducing myself to the Canadian market. So
you were marketing yourself outside of the country? Like
yeah.
Kijiji, it's a Canadian-based Craigslist?
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. And from there, it was mostly referrals from other, Canadians. I did a lot with like TELUS people, like HR people in TELUS.
Right.
It kept me going for a while. But you were selling a lot of, $70,000 homes, $120,000 in Maricopa, in Queen Creek. That were once $300,000, but they saw the value in it, and went from there. Kept me going for a while, and then the market turned.
So is that a big focus of yours now? Do you do a lot of work with Canadians because you kind of built a reputation around there, or you pretty much do all kinds of
kinds now? I still do the Canadians. I've sold some because their dollar has dropped 30% or so.
Right,
I don't know where it is right now, so they're cashing out. Some of them say they're coming back, but I focus more on referrals. I do internet leads like everybody. We try. We try a million different things. Some work, some don't.
Awesome. So like you said internet leads. So I think a lot of agents, newer agents or whatever, everybody's kind of interested in dabbling with internet leads. A lot of them aren't sure, what's effective or not. What are you finding the most success with? I know there's Zillow. Do you do Zillow lead? I mean, there's several different kinds of lead.
I do Zillow. It can be expensive. It's not the return I would really like. And part of that's on me because I'm actually not very good on the phone.
Right.
Face to face, I think I do extremely well. You can read people's eyes, but on a phone, you hesitate, and it's like they sense something's wrong.
Right.
But I'm always trying to give them the most honest, positive answer. Like somebody calls and say, "Oh, are you the listing agent?" It's like, I said, "Well, no, I'm not." And it's like, click, they hang up. I don't try to give them a song and dance. I'm transparent. I try to be completely honest. I guess I'm not good that way on the phone, but it's who I am.
Yeah, and that's kind of the beauty of real estate, because you don't have to be great on the phones, or you don't have to be great knocking doors,
Right.
but you can find your little niche that's kind of tailored around you. And I think that's one of the keys to sustaining in this business, because if you're doing something just short term, I mean, you got to do what you got to do at the beginning to drive your business. You want to make sure it gets it off the ground.
Right.
So you may be doing some things, cold calling and different things just to get your name out there and kind of get the ball rolling. But, for long-term success, I think it's important to find a piece of the business that really resonates with you and that you're passionate about and you enjoy doing.
Right.
So what is that for you in 2018?
Well, my biggest thing is referrals, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind open houses. Especially now that you can get a Wi-Fi, through your phone.
Right.
So, the house is vacant, you don't have connection. You can do Wi-Fi, so I can get work done.
Right.
I enjoy that. I enjoy all aspects of the business. I'm an individual agent. I don't have a team. Teams can be wonderful, but I guess I like to be in control. So if something goes wrong, I'm going to fix it.
Right.
Or I take the blame if it goes wrong. But usually I have systems in place where things won't go wrong.
Right.
They do once in a while.
Yeah. So I'll ask you, how has the business changed since you started? So you started in around 2002 after 9/11, and how has your business changed? Because we know that technology has changed quite a bit from 2002 to 2018.
Oh yeah.
So what are the biggest differences from a real estate veteran?
It's technology. I mean, I wasn't here when they used to have the books, and you have to run to the office.
Right.
Look at
Print
pictures.
them out.
We always had the MLS. You could see things online, but there wasn't Zillow. There weren't exposures. You had to email the listings to your clients. So you did have a little bit more control that way. Now you learn to adapt. The first thing that I got really excited about with technology was like digital signing. I had a listing. I received an offer with electronic signature. First thing I look at, I go, is this legal? So I call my broker, and he goes, yeah, it's legal. So the first thing I did that afternoon, I signed up for, I think it was DocuSign.
Yeah.
One of those. And because at the time, it was during the crash, and I was dealing with the Canadians. So they didn't have to, fax it or scan it into me. They just signed it, and it was done. So it was wonderful. The negative of that is, they're probably not looking at the document.
Sure.
Because you always say, call me if you have any questions. 10 to 1, they never call with questions. So, but it's a time saver. It's wonderful. Some of these new, the websites, it's hard to keep up with it, but I think it's fantastic. It's changing the business. It will keep evolving.
Yeah. So that's definitely a big piece, getting signatures and doing the contracts, now being able to do it with, is it zip forms? Or you use zip forms and DocuSign and do it real, seamlessly from, both the agent and the consumer side. Where do you see the future? Do you have an opinion on where it's going, or you just kind of roll with the punches?
Well, no, you see it evolving. There'll always be an agent involved at some point. There's a discount brokers up there. There's always, and people are trying to find shortcuts. Shortcuts don't always work. They work for the short time. It's just like you've got these other places like Open Door, and for some people it's a good thing because it does take away stress.
Sure.
But they don't realize that they're probably giving up 20%. They might be sold that they're making as much, but they're not, because those people have to resell it. So they're in business too to make money.
Right.
So, but it's going to be, I'm trying, people like that one-on-one relationship.
Sure, yeah.
You just don't want to do everything over the phone. But it is good that there's, Zillow out there because they can gather information. Sometimes it's not 100% correct. For example, you go on Zillow and sometimes their estimated value is 10% over, which makes it hard when you're going to tell the seller, no, you can't sell for that. When it's 10% under, you look like a rock star, you know what I mean?
Right.
But if you show them the comps, and any logical person will show, yeah, you're right, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I like to ask guests on the show why they choose their brokerage, because we know here in Phoenix there are so many options. There are a ton of brokerages. Why do you choose to go with Remax Infinity?
Well, the first thing I was with Remax Achievers, and they had to close their doors, unfortunately. I wanted to stay with Remax because it's a national, it's a universal brand. And working for Levi Strauss, I knew how strong and how powerful brands could be, and how there's more integrity to a brand. You know, not that these boutiques can't work and do well.
Sure.
I just like, you know, direction. Like, for example, Remax encourages education all the time, information. And I'm an information gatherer. I love information. I love data. So I was going to stay with Remax. I went with Remax Infinity because Bill Ryan, I knew of him. I knew of his reputation of integrity and stuff. So I went with Bill Ryan, and the broker there is Shelley Farley. And just to have a good relationship. We have fun there. We have a sense of humor, but it's all business.
Sure.
I mean, you can have both. Because
Yeah.
a key with my clients too is I like to have fun.
Right.
Stressful, but it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Yeah.
know, that makes the process not so, you know, stressful, because it can be definitely stressful. There's always kinks along the way that you got to work out, you know, as an agent, and every transaction is completely different.
Yeah, and I try to make it seamless for my accounts, where they sometimes have no clue what I'm doing behind the scenes. I'm avoiding the road bumps.
Right.
You know, so it just goes smooth, so they think, oh, this is easy. Well, it's not all that easy a lot of times. I mean, you're negotiating behind the scenes. You know, you have to play the good cop, bad cop sometimes, you know.
Right.
That type of thing.
And then you also mentioned with Remax, they have a big focus on learning.
Correct.
And that was actually something that we were talking before the show that, you know, you know, when you got into real estate, as you were building your business, that you spent a lot of time learning the business. What did you say? You have 18 designations, or a big number?
Only 13.
Only 13.
Only
Sorry,
13,
I got it wrong. So, you know, talk to us a little about those designations and how they benefit your customers.
Well, when I got in the business, you know, usually you don't ramp up and you're doing, you know, 20 deals a year right away.
Right.
So I wanted to learn more about the business. I wanted to find out if I wanted to go into commercial too. So I took actually 150 hours that first year of courses.
Goodness.
I got most of my courses through for my Certified Residential Specialist, CSR. Thing is, you have to do, CSR is like your master's degree, and you have to get so many deals. So I couldn't get my designation until a couple of years later, when I actually had the volume to support it. But I got my ABR, which is Accredited Buyer's Rep. I don't even know what half of them stand for anymore, but I have 13. I do want to get another one for, what is it? I don't even know the acronyms for it, but it's for vacation rentals, because I do a lot of people from out of state. I deal with people coming in from, you know, California, from the Midwest, and they want to buy second homes, that type of thing.
Sure.
But I think education is key to help protect my client and for their best interest. And because there's so much news out there that you do have to keep up with it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's things that are changing all the time. And so I'll ask you, you know, like you said, referrals is a big piece of your business.
Correct.
Now, you said you also work with internet leads. What is the biggest driver of your business, having been established now for 16 years?
You mean where do my business come?
Yeah. So like, if you do internet leads,
right?
You know, does that drive the majority of your deals, or is it mostly referrals from past clients?
Yeah,
and staying in contact with those people.
Right. It's 80% clients,
80%.
Past clients. You know, and I do the internet leads because that's going to build on it. That internet lead will give me maybe one other lead if they're happy with my service, and I expect them to be happy.
Right,
You know?
right.
You're not
So
going to bat 100%, but
that's
98.
actually kind of not a problem, but something that a lot of agents miss. They miss staying in contact with their past clients and asking for referrals. You know, what have you found that's successful? Obviously, you don't want to be a pest to your past clients or nothing, but I think it's got to be genuine in that you're just following up, making sure that their house is working out the way they are. If they have any real estate related questions, how have you found that successful for you? What does that look like to stay in contact with your clients?
Well, it's exactly how you said. There's a fine line of pestering them.
Sure.
And I myself personally don't like to be pestered. So I'm not one to always pick up the phone and say, yeah, how are you? Because it's about business. I mean, you like these people genuinely. In fact, I tell a lot of people after the deal, I said, you know what? I said, in another place and time, we'd be good friends. But we're really not friends. We're acquaintances. We've done business, but they do refer me business. So, usually I keep up with them with like newsletters, a few emails every couple months, but I don't want to overwhelm them because, they're not ready to buy or sell. But then again, every once in a while, they've got friends to refer. In fact, I just got a text from a client. He texted me, he says, oh, I've got a good friend, and he just sent me one last November.
Oh,
so
wow. Dang.
He's been sending me a ton of referrals, which is great, and I love it. So I'm not complaining, and things like that.
Those are the best. So obviously it sounds like you found a good mix of, making sure you keep in contact with your past clients, that you're, that top real estate agent when they're thinking about buying or selling, or their friends, in this case of the referral.
Right.
But without, overdoing it and just being super salesy, building the relationship, but kind of on the acquaintance basis and know your role, as a real estate agent. So
exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Bill. So for those watching that may be interested in buying or selling their home in the Phoenix market, I'll ask you this. Do you focus primarily in the Chandler area, or are you like Phoenix metro wide?
East Valley. I usually don't go out to the West Valley that much. I mean, you don't have the knowledge as much. You don't know the news over there. So you want to be familiar with what's going on in your area. Right. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So how do people reach out to you, if they're looking to buy or sell a home in the East Valley? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, they can call, they can text. I communicate the way people like to communicate. Some like to text all the time, some like to email. My phone number is 480-460-2721. Usually I repeat it on my phone. I said 480-460-2721 because I know sometimes you speak too fast.
Yeah.
And then my email address is Drummey, my last name, which is DRUMMEY35@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bill, for coming on the show. It was a pleasure, and we will see you guys on the next episode.